they were trapping Patrick Mahomes on the worst NFL team for the rest of his career, which just so happens to be my favorite team. Now, is his career going to take a big nosedive, or will he completely turn the Titans around and lead them to their first ever Super Bowl? And to make matters even worse for Chiefs fans, they're stuck with Will Levis. Is there any chance he keeps their dynasty going, or is it over? D-Hop is probably so mad. So we're just going to go ahead and simulate to the end of his first season as a Titan. And keep in mind, dude, the Titans finished with the #1 pick in the draft. So can Patrick actually take this team, the worst in the NFL, to a playoff berth in just one season? I don't believe it, dude. I actually don't believe it. We went from worst to first in the division. Literally, all it took was trading Will Levis for Patrick Mahomes. And oh my god, dude, the Chiefs sucked. Was William actually that bad? I mean, threw for 4,100 yards and 40 touchdowns, but brother threw 26 interceptions. I still can't believe, dude, Patrick Mahomes led this team to the playoffs. I mean, we had a stinker to start the season until we put up 56 points on the Colts. Close loss to the Bills, also lost to the Lions. But a huge 6-game winning streak in the middle of the season before we lost 3 out of 4 at the end of the season. But hey, dude, that 6-game winning streak led us to the playoffs. I mean, Patrick led us to a middle-of-the-pack offense. I mean, that's not a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. 4,400 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 picks, 73% completion percentage is pretty crazy. Thank God he put up these numbers, dude, because he was on a team that couldn't run the ball worth of crap. 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Nick Westbrook-Akine, Tennessee Titans legend, almost had 1,000 yards. He had Calvin Ridley with 866 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Chig had a big year too. Wasn't quite good enough to win him MVP though. He came all the way down in 8th. I mean, what a load of crap here. We brought the Titans from worst to the playoffs, and we barely even got Coach of the Year votes. Now, I gotta see one season as a Titan, and Patrick Mahomes is now up to a 97 overall. What about Will Levis? He is up to a 76. After those 26 picks, his morale is kind of low, understandably. How does teammates do around him? I mean, the team couldn't run the ball worth of crap. I mean, he did have 3 receivers with 10+ touchdowns, and even D-Hop didn't have that bad of a season. I'm not gonna lie, dude, it really does seem like Patrick elevated the team around though. Like a rookie left tackle, J.C. Latham went, what, 5 overall? Everybody on the offensive line's at least a 71 overall now. Even Tony Pollard's up to an 88, Tajay Spears up to an 82. I mean, the squad's up to an 84 overall across the board. Now, it's already been impressive up to this point, but like, what are the odds he can actually win a few playoff games and maybe go on a Super Bowl run? I mean, even if they get first rounded here, he better get comfortable because he's going nowhere. I'm not gonna lie, like right behind the Chiefs or Ravens, like the most overpowered team in Madden Simulation, so I would be shocked if they won this game, which they did lose. It's okay though, because Patrick's just getting started. What are the odds Will can have the Chiefs bounce back next season? And what would you know? Patrick Mahomes leaves Kansas City and Josh Allen immediately wins the Super Bowl. Surely the Titans spent all $50 million they have in cap space this offseason to build the squad around Patrick. And looking at the squad, dude, like somehow Chig became a superstar. He had an effect on defense too, because L'Jarius Sneed with his new teammate now on the squad is an X factor. Let's go ahead and send past offseason free agency and hope to God the Titans front office spends their money wisely. I mean, they spend a pretty big chunk of change. Hopefully they didn't spend it on just a bunch of nonsense though. Oh my god, how funny that is. I mean, you couldn't script it, dude. They re-signed D-Hop to a 2-year deal. And aside from D-Hop, they did give Devin Bush some decent money, but like, it's just a bunch of mid. Now, what did the Chiefs do around Will Levis? Like, what are the odds they released him? I mean, to be fair, they did sign Jimmy Garoppolo, invested in some offensive linemen. They got Blaine Gabbert. What are the odds they released Levis? They didn't. I mean, D-Hop himself said he loves Nashville, so he couldn't be gone for way too long. Still an 81 overall, but for some reason is super sad to be back. But now time to see what the heck the Titans do in the draft here. I mean, preferably they need some offensive linemen to protect Patrick. Just looking for some studs though. Maybe a good stud young receiver. The Titans went and drafted Michael Williams at left end. They did get Matthew Golden at receiver. Got a good offensive guard in the 4th round, and the rest of the draft was kind of garbage. And at the same time, I'm just curious, did the Chiefs by chance try to replace Will Levis? No, they went James Pierce. My god, they actually had a really good draft class. Maybe this could start their journey back to the playoffs. And at the start of season 2, I want to make sure Will Levis is even still a starter. And indeed he is. Now officially time to see what nonsense unfolds here in year 2. So Titans made the playoffs again and improved to 12-5. Now how did Will and the Chiefs do? They went 11-6. Oh my god. I gotta see how the heck this happened, dude. The plot thickens, brother. The Titans and Patrick Mahomes traveled to Kansas City and the Chiefs in week 3 and lost to Will Levis 28-20. Even with a 20-point fourth quarter, Will Levis actually outplayed Patrick Mahomes. That is the craziest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. But thankfully, looks like Patrick and the Titans got a little bit better the second half of the season. Won the playoffs, they won 5 of the last 6. Like, imagine the scenes like Will Levis won MVP or something. I mean, Patrick led the Titans to the number 2 offense in the NFL. And Will Levis and the Chiefs weren't too far behind you at number 5. I mean, come on, give Patrick a round of applause. 4,700 yards, 47 touchdowns, 13 picks, 75% completion percentage. Like, I'm certain as a Titans fan, these are the best numbers in franchise history. At least Tony Pollard actually hit 1,000 yards this year. Decent season from him, good bounce back. And would you look at this, dude? Rookie Matthew Golden, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. I think the Titans drafted themselves a stud, but a good, much better season from Calvin really this time around. 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Look at D-Hop, like Grandpa D-Hop, 938 yards, 10 touchdowns. And another rookie balling out for the Titans, Michael Williams with 9.5 sacks. Like, the Titans might have actually drafted both the defensive and offensive rookie of the season. To be honest with you, dude, I thought Patrick would be miserable here, but honestly, I think he's loving life. I mean, these are some of the best numbers he's put up in a season since his first year he started. Now, let's see, did he win MVP? He didn't, but hold on a second, dude. Will Levis finished above Patrick Mahomes in MVP voting. I've got to investigate. I've got to see what the heck happened. That makes no sense, dude, because Patrick Mahomes was number 1 in passing yards and touchdowns, but Will Levis was literally just behind him. But still, like, he had less yards, less touchdowns, 1 less interception, 5 less completion percentage points. So how did he finish above him? Not like he really had more rushing yards either. Like, this is clear Chiefs bias. He had much better weapons to throw to too. I mean, he had Rashee Rice with 22 touchdowns. I feel like this is so rigged, dude. Like, this is so crazy. I mean, like, did we just completely accidentally turn Will Levis into one of the best quarterbacks in the league? Like, he's only up to an 80 overall, so like, how's he putting up such good numbers? Still can't win Coach of the Year, dude. Let's see. Yes, Matthew Golden did win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Travis Hunter. Michael Williams came in 3rd. But can Patrick Mahomes finally get back to his winning ways in the playoffs? I mean, with what he's used to in Kansas City, if he goes 2 years without winning a playoff game, he probably will be quite miserable, but let's make sure we can get past the Dolphins here. They got the dub. What about William? They lost to the Ravens. So can Patrick make it back to what would be his, like 10th AFC championship of his career already? To be the Titans' first conference championship since they lost to the Chiefs in 2019, and they made it back! Barely squeezed past the Steelers. Now, what are the odds Patrick Mahomes can actually do it here? Can they get revenge from last season? Can he really bring the NFL's worst team to a Super Bowl in just 2 seasons? I feel like they're gonna lose, though. The Chiefs are just too good in Madden. I knew it was too good to be true. Even though we outgained them, dude, and they had a turnover, we didn't. Like, I'm just telling you, the Ravens are impossible to beat. How ironic, lost to Derrick Henry and the Ravens. Lamar, 3 rushing touchdowns is what did it. I'm telling you guys, though, Patrick's gonna be bringing a Super Bowl back to Nashville here soon. I mean, it's now been a full 2 seasons since Patrick won a Super Bowl. Like, something doesn't feel right. Well, the reunion didn't last too long. This is depressing too, dude, because he's gonna quit as soon as his team's gonna win a Super Bowl. And Blaine Gabbert apparently couldn't stand to be Will Levis's backup. But a lot of progression here that I like to see. I mean, Golden's already up to a superstar. Unfortunately, Tony Pollard and Calvin really are already starting to regress quite heavily. And at the same time, dude, Patrick Mahomes is now 30 years old, which means he himself is going to start regressing here any season now. On the flip side, Will Levis is now up to a star, 80 overall, and he's only 27, so he's going to progress for the next 3 or so seasons. So at this point, dude, it kind of feels like a race. Who's going to win the Super Bowl first? I mean, the Titans have another $40 million to spend in free agency. Hopefully, they spend every freaking dime, dude, so Nashville can finally get their first ever Super Bowl. And you got Patrick Mahomes, for crying out loud. What does it mean that they gained salary cap? Please tell me they didn't sign nobody. So they released a ton of players, including Harold Landry, who's been their leading sack their last 5 or so years. Does that mean they didn't sign anybody to replace them? Oh my god. What a disgrace. If the Chiefs spent money, dude, it might be Jover. Okay, all they did was sign a new offensive coordinator. And they also released a ton of players, including 2 kickers and both are offensive tackles. So that means this upcoming draft here is more important than ever. I mean, that's a pretty freaking good draft class, fellas. Harold Perkins in the first. He's going to replace Harold Landry. Another good middle linebacker, good running back, potentially a Tony Pollard replacement. No real studs in the back half, though. Just please tell me the Chiefs draft class wasn't better than ours. Okay, no, pretty garbage to be fair. Not gonna lie though, fellas, going into year 3 here, I don't know how confident I am in this team making a legitimate Super Bowl push. I think this is the lowest overall team we've had so far. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, like, why doubt? We have freaking Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. God dang it, the Mickey Mouse runs over. Missed the playoffs on a tiebreaker. At least the Chiefs came in last place. Let's see what happened here. We still had a top 10 offense. I mean, that's arguably better numbers than what Mahomes put up last year, only threw 7 picks. Team couldn't run the ball worth of crap. Matthew Golden with another good season. Where did Traylon Burks come from? Had 11 touchdowns his best year ever. Even Wash Calvin really had a decent year. At least for my own personal vindication, tell me Will Levis sucked. Yep, back to throwing 20 plus interceptions this season. Don't know what really caused that. They did lose Travis Kelce. I don't know what caused it, but I'm all here for it. He is up to an 83 overall though. It's like he could turn into a really good quarterback. And Patrick couldn't even win MVP with those numbers. I'm telling you, dude, he's still having good individual seasons, but I'm telling you, our guy's miserable. He's got to win the Super Bowl eventually, right? Okay, so if the Broncos can win a Super Bowl, so can we. I mean, just give us a good offseason here, dude. You have $100 million to spend. I mean, if our front office doesn't take things seriously here, Patrick might just up and quit. You gotta be kidding me, dude. They left $100 million in the tank. I mean, we got a free safety, a middle linebacker, a new offensive tackle, but we still had $100 million to spend. All while the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos went out and got Aiden Hutchinson. Please tell me the Chiefs didn't sign any superstars. They didn't sign a single player. Could be worse. Better be the best draft class of all freaking time, though. I mean, at least we got a good offensive tackle for the future. A few decent players in the middle rounds. Chiefs got a really good wide receiver, but they still haven't drafted, you know, the Will Levis replacement or anything. Got a freaking stud fullback in the 7th. Made it to Patrick's 4th year as a Titan. I mean, the squad's up to an 86 overall with an 87 offense. Like, this might be the best overall team he's had so far. I mean, Chig's now an X factor for him. I mean, I think at the end of the day, if this defense can get a little better, they should at least make it back to the playoffs. 12-win season here. I'm calling it. Hey, it's not the 12 wins I was expecting, but at least they made it back to the playoffs. I want to see, did we play the Chiefs in a head-to-head? Doesn't look like we did this season, but at least we've won 3 out of 4 heading into the playoffs. Always good to be playing your best ball heading into the postseason. And would you look at that, dude? We both had identical records. Again, finished with a top 10 offense, and Patrick again with really, really good numbers. And like, when you put all the numbers combined, dude, like, yeah, I know he hasn't won his Super Bowls in Tennessee, but like, this is like the best 4-year stretch of his career. He's only thrown more than 40 touchdowns twice in his career, and he's done that 3 straight seasons in Tennessee. Imagine he had a good running back to hand the freaking ball off to. All the running backs here suck, apparently. Calvin Ridley with a breakout season, almost 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns. And like, he's washed at this point, dude. He's down to a 77 overall. Just please don't tell me William outballed Patrick. I mean, no, but he did have, you know, really, really good numbers for, you know, a Will Levis type season. Look at his backup quarterback. I'm surprised he wasn't worse. I mean, imagine Patrick had a Rashee Rice to throw to in Tennessee. He still can't win MVP, dude. He came in 6th, though. No votes for Will Levis. Just please don't tell me we're 1 and done this season. We're going to travel to Buffalo, take down the Bills, as Patrick Mahomes done plenty of times in the playoffs. They lost. It was a blowout. Oh my God, a Patrick Mahomes stinker. Oh, we can't be having this, Patrick. At least as a consolation prize, Will Levis and the Chiefs also lost. Get me back to the offseason ASAP. And it looks like the Ravens might be the team that's benefited the most from Patrick Mahomes being moved somewhere else, because that's what, their 2nd Super Bowl in 4 seasons. Now, please, dear God, dude, can this front office spend this $140 million that's just sitting there? Okay, so we actually spent a pretty big chunk of change this offseason. Hopefully it wasn't on a bunch of garbage. We went and signed Aleem McNeil, Diami Brown, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. We signed the entire Eagles roster. Oh my God, dude, pretty much 5 pretty big signings. I mean, this defense is freaking loaded now. I mean, a good draft class here would be the perfect cherry on top. I mean, to be completely fair, dude, that's quite the banger of a draft class. Got a 76 rated receiver with pick 20, another 70 plus rated receiver in round 4, and maybe Patrick Mahomes' long-term replacement. What about the Chiefs? They finally replacing Will Levis? No, but they had 1 million draft picks for some reason. It's been a long time coming, what, 5 seasons in so far, but I'm finally gonna call it. I'm gonna speak it into existence. This is gonna be Patrick Mahomes' best season as a Titan yet. I mean, 12-5's not too shabby. Only good for the 4 seed, better than the Chiefs in their 7th seed, who offense actually took a little step backwards down to 12th in the league. But Mahomes with another super solid season. It's just a running game. Like, I don't get, like, why can't we run the ball? It's not even like Tajae's a bad running back, dude. He's 87 overall. Like, what do you mean? He'd be unbeatable if he could run the freaking ball. Traylon Burks again, too. Like, what in the world? Like, where did he even come from? Golden, another good year. Dimey Brown was a big signing. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that rookie had a single catch all year. God, Mahomes still can't win MVP. As long as Will Levis isn't outperforming him. I mean, he has pretty good numbers, dude. 42 touchdowns, only 12 picks. What's his overall up to? 86, dude. That's crazy. And speaking of overall, I'm curious to see if Mahomes actually started to regress quite a bit. Mahomes overall is at a 98 still, and a member of the Mickey Mouse 99 Club. After all that, can we just please not get first rounded here? Thank God. Now we have to get past the Broncos in Denver, and I have to say, dude, the Broncos are one of the best teams the last few years. I want to see if by chance the Chiefs advance. Oh no, dude, they obliterated the Ravens. That means if we win this game, there's a good chance we could be taking on Will Levis and the Chiefs in the conference championship. Let's just focus on one thing at a time. Let's get past the Broncos here and get to Patrick Mahomes' first conference championship in 5 seasons. You gotta be kidding me. We got destroyed. Mahomes with 2 picks. I don't get it. Getting outplayed by Bo Nix is crazy work. Oh my God, and even worse, dude, the Chiefs advanced. They almost got outgained by double 2. There's just no way Will Levis and the freaking Chiefs made it to the conference championship before Patrick Mahomes. I just don't believe it. If Will Levis and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl before we do, dude, I'm gonna cry. Absolutely no way Will Levis makes it to the Super Bowl as a 7 seed, right? Oh, thank God, dude. They got embarrassed. I mean, again, Patrick Mahomes might be miserable because he's not winning Super Bowls, but at least I won Coach of the Year. And Mahomes is starting to regress a little bit, dude. He's still an X factor, but he is 33 years old. Only regressed 5 points, which isn't terrible, but at the end of the day, dude, the truth of the matter is we're running out of time. We don't want Patrick to retire a Titan and be miserable. He's still not going anywhere, though. He's trapped. Problem is, they literally don't have any money to spend this offseason. Well, I highly doubt they sign a singular soul here. Yep, our marquee offseason signing was store. Hopefully this draft class makes up for it. I mean, to be completely honest, dude, this was a wild draft class. Which, like, wait, when did we get 2 seconds and 2 firsts? Like, when did that happen? Just want to check on Williams Chiefs for a second. I got a good first round pick. The rest was garbage. New season, and I'm telling you guys, this team has the makings of something special. Like, we're up to an 88 overall across the board. First round bye, I'm telling you boys, I can taste it. Come on! If you speak of something enough into the cosmos, it will come to existence eventually. Back to a top 5 Patrick Mahomes led offense, and that just might be his best season as a Tennessee Titan yet. I mean, at least Tajay averaged 4 yards per carry this season. That is just so insane, dude. Literally 3 1,000-yard receivers, all with basically like the same stats. Traylon Burks is just still balling out. We had 4 receivers with double-digit touchdowns. This young receiver is still kind of disappointing, but I completely forgot to check how the Chiefs do. They missed the playoffs. Let's go. Will Levis stinker. You love to see it. Now, did Patrick finally win MVP? Yes, he did. So he does officially become the first ever Tennessee Titan to win NFL MVP. Look at yours truly winning back-to-back Coach of the Years. None of that matters, though, if Patrick doesn't get back to winning Super Bowl. And who do we get in our first matchup? We get the Bengals, who could be tricky. We already played them this year and beat them by 11 points, so hopefully we should be all right. It was a pretty clean victory. We outgained them. Patrick with a good game. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen, so like you never know. Just don't give me the Bills. Don't give me the Bills. Don't give me the Bills. We win, but not good, dude. We get the Ravens. We have a 95 overall offense. I gotta do some scouting, brother. How do they have a 95 overall offense? That is crazy. Yeah, Lamar, Tyler Lindenbaum, Ollie Gordon just turned into a monster. Zay Flowers, Tredez Green, whoever that is. Yeah, dude, they got a stack roster. Like, look at this wide receiver room. And when you add in this tight end, dude, they easily got the best receiving group in the league. You know, not to mention, dude, still 99 overall Lamar Jackson. So winning this game could prove to be super tricky, dude, but we're a 14-3 team for a reason. I have faith. We have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, and it's about freaking time. Oh my gosh, dude, we got past the Ravens by 3 points. What a game, dude. What a freaking game. For once in his Titans playoff career, he didn't commit turnovers. That was Lamar Jackson who lost them. on the game. What makes this even crazier, dude, is the 1 seed Eagles go down, so they take on the Bears. It's a weird Super Bowl. But it's Patrick Mahomes finally gonna get back to winning the Super Bowl and at the same time bring the Titans their first Lombardi trophy in franchise history. But first, I gotta do some more scouting. Who do the Bears even have? Like 99 Caleb Williams, 99 Rome Odunze. Yeah, dude, this isn't gonna be easy. We're gonna simulate this way, boys, for added dramatic effect. No way after, what, 5-6 seasons we finally make the Super Bowl only to lose. Not gonna allow for it. Not gonna happen. Just like that 7-0. Come on, let it be an easy game. Just kidding. Caleb Williams ties things up. 10-7. Patrick takes the lead. Come on. It's time for Patrick to get back to his ways. Please score, please. No. It's a 3-point game. 10-point game. We got this. We got this. Tennessee Titans, for the first time in franchise history, are Super Bowl champions. Yes, it took trapping Patrick Mahomes against his will, but I think at least in this moment, Patrick's happy. Patrick inherited the worst team in the National Football League, and it took a little while, but now they are officially Super Bowl champions. And don't get ahead of yourselves. He's not done yet. Might have dropped down to a 94 overall at the age of 34, but he's still got a contract to uphold. He's going nowhere. Will Levis too, man. He still wants to win his Super Bowl, so he's not completely embarrassed today. New season in the new decade, and we somehow won more games than last year. All while Will and the Chiefs had an absolute stinker. Another top 5 offense and another Mahomes masterclass. Good to see that young receiver finally balling out. We sent him straight to the Super Bowl, but unfortunately got embarrassed by the Steelers. Not as embarrassing as the Chiefs, though. Now, after the playoff upset, Mahomes dropped all the way to 91, which isn't too bad considering he's 35 and all. But who knows at this point how many years he has left until he retires. So hopefully they can make the next few seasons count, because my Titans will never have a quarterback like Mahomes ever again in their existence. Made the playoffs again the next season, but 10-7 definitely was a little bit of regression. Definitely no regression from Patrick, though. Even though he couldn't quite pull out his second Titans MVP, at least he's performing a whole lot better than his old team. And they got past the Jags by a singular point and absolutely demolished the Jags in the divisional. Now in the conference championship, they just had to get past the Bills, which Patrick has done so many times in his career up to this point. And he did it again in easy fashion. To be completely fair, the Bills now did have a Josh Allen from Wish. But all that stands in the way of a second Patrick Titans Super Bowl is the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, dude, like surely we don't lose? Moment of truth. Of course Patrick Mahomes isn't gonna lose a Super Bowl. Now up to this point, dude, with 2 Super Bowls now, I don't feel too bad trapping Patrick here, which still being a 90 overall X Factor at 36 years of age is legendary. Now Williams still hanging in there himself, so maybe he can still squeak out a Super Bowl of his own. Next season, Patrick was right back in the playoffs, although the Ravens with their 95 offense is a brutal draw round 1. I mean, at least we tripled the Chiefs win total. I mean, yet again, dude, it was just another normal Patrick type season, which his receivers at this point look quite a bit different. Brother, I just don't know if Will has it in him. Now, we completed the impossible and got past the Ravens, but unfortunately, we didn't have what it took to get past Cincinnati. We just had absolutely no offense going this game. Really hope Patrick doesn't retire on that note. So apparently he's sticking it out another year, although at the age of 37 he's down to an 87 overall. Oh, what do you know? Another 12-5 season, all while the Chiefs missed the playoffs for what feels like the 10th straight season. And yeah, he might be a shell of his former self, but my God, Patrick with the best season of his freaking career up to this point. I mean, that really is quite easily the best season of his entire career. 45 touchdowns to 2 picks. And surely that was good enough. Yes, it was, for his second MVP of his Titans career. Let's just simulate this bad boy straight to the Super Bowl. That's insane, dude. There is no shot. Got past the Bengals by 5, took down the Patriots by 2 touchdowns, got past the Ravens by the skin of our shafts. Now, I don't think we've made it to a Super Bowl where we've lost up to this point, so maybe this can be Patrick's 3rd as a Titan. I mean, the Niners went 9-8 in the season. Like, I say that. Like, watch me just jinx myself. That officially makes Super Bowl win number 3 for Patrick and the Titans. I mean, that makes, what, like 3 Super Bowl wins in the last 5 years? Dude, that's amazing. I would love this as a Titans fan. Chig apparently on the Commanders quit, but surely Patrick stuck around for another season, right? He's still here kicking it, dude, and he barely even went down, even though he's almost grandpa status. this? Even the Chiefs finally replaced Will Levis. That is crazy. I think it's more because he's starting to regress. He's down to a 76, dude. You're no Patrick Mahomes, William. But what are the odds Patrick can win back-to-back Super Bowls here for the first time as a Titan? Might be a decent shot considering another 12-5 season earned us a first-round bye. And even after moving on from William, the Chiefs still suck. Dude, Patrick is aging like a fine freaking wine. And dude, I know this guy was a disappointment his first few seasons, but he's now catching 25 touchdown passes a season. No big deal, dude. Just another Patrick Mahomes Titans MVP. Hey, I got robbed of the Coach of the Year, though. Can Patrick do it? Can he make it to back-to-back Super Bowls for his first time as a Titan? Dude, this is crazy. This is so insane. Complete domination over the Texans in the divisional, then a squeaker over the Patriots to get revenge over Gerard Mayo stealing Coach of the Year from me, and now to win Patrick Mahomes' 4th Super Bowl as a Titan, his first back-to-back Super Bowl as a Titan. All we have to do is beat the 9-8 Giants. Come on now. Patrick hasn't lost a Super Bowl as a Titan yet. And there it is, dude. 34-31. Patrick Mahomes wins another one. And if I'm not mistaken, that should tie him with Tom Brady with 7 Super Bowl victories. And also, if I'm not mistaken, he now has more Super Bowls as a Titan than he does a Chief. Chiefs fans down bad at the moment. If he sticks around and wins one more Super Bowl, he could break the all-time record. But he's still here, dude. Still an X factor, but down to an 83 overall. And he's almost 40. But dude, if he continues to trend in the last few seasons, he might throw for 6,000 yards, 60 touchdowns next year. What are the odds Patrick Mahomes can do what he couldn't as a Chief and win back-to-back Super Bowls for the first time in NFL history? And this very well could be his last season before he retires. Let's make it count, Patrick. Let's make it count. This is a psychotic run. What makes it even crazier is we have a chance to match up with the Chiefs in the playoffs since they actually made it this year. The old man just doesn't slow up, does he? Like, this is crazy. We got robbed of the MVP, though. Come on, give me the Chiefs in the divisional, dude. It would just be too perfect. I would get the Dolphins. The Chiefs couldn't even make it out of the wild card. I don't think they've won a playoff game ever since they lost Patrick Mahomes in the first place. So let's do it, dude. It's gonna send him straight to the Super Bowl, and there is so much on the line. Again, one more Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes puts him #1 all time, and also be the first one to ever win back-to-back Super Bowls. Oh, and that's so disappointing. There's just no way the Dolphins did that to us. The Dolphins beat us, and they made it all the way to the Super Bowl. That's so depressing. Oh, I just know Patrick's gonna call it quits. Well, even though we didn't win the Super Bowl, at least I again won Coach of the Year. But most importantly, did Patrick retire? I don't see it popping up over here. William did, though. There's no way Patrick Mahomes lasted longer in the league than Will Levis. Like, Will got drafted, what, 5 years after him? Oh, man, he's not here anymore. There it is, dude. There it is. After 19 years, Patrick Mahomes retires from the NFL. And obviously, he goes down as the greatest player to ever exist. The 7 Super Bowls, 8 conference championships. And yeah, I know he got trapped on the worst team, but considering he won more Super Bowls with the Titans than he did with the Chiefs, maybe in the end, he's happy it happened and will actually retire as a Titan and not a Chief. Like I said, Chiefs fans down bad. If you enjoyed that one, you can click right here to watch another one of my Madden bangers. And if you're still here, click that sub button, brother. I need to pass Mr. Beast by the end of the year. I'm gonna slip into a depression. Only need like 100 million. Wait, I need like 300 million.